Welcome to Croxton Family Racing. I'm Adam Croxton, and with me is Chip Monkington. Chip?
Thanks, Adam. It's great to be here for Day 2 of Race 2 in the League of Champions. First up will be the Caribbean Division, outer brackets. See who makes it in.
You can see all the cars' seating placements in blue underneath their name, and we're going to see the first matches with the 07 Chevy Tahoe up first against the Inkling 17 Pagani Huayra Roadster.
And they just miss each other going down the track, making a couple passes through the middle. Let's see it again in slow motion.
Just a narrow miss on the first pass through, much wider margin as they pass through a second time. And neither one of them will stop in the center, which will give them the same amount of points this go-around.
Tied at 7 apiece, they switch lanes. We will see how this race turns out, hopefully with some destruction.
And as they both take off down the track, there's indeed contact in the middle. The Inkling knocks the Tahoe off and remains in the center.
The final points will be Inkling with 14 and the Tahoe with 7.
Next matchup is the 1956 Cadillac Eldorado against the Shadow the Hedgehog Segundo Coupe.
I guess they didn't get the memo that this was a demolition derby. Why aren't they hitting each other?
Well, each of these drivers has come up with a different strategy on how to best tackle this course. I mean, there is some assurance with knocking somebody off, but you also run the risk of falling off yourself. Some drivers have opted to just pass through the center as many times as possible to accrue those points. The Hedgehog's up by 2 as they switch lanes.
And here's the better strategy. Shadow the Hedgehog just knocks the Eldorado right off the track. That's how it's done.
And as a side note, you'll see how these standings change at the bottom of the screen and see where each car is placing as we go.
With that, the Lamborghini Diablo is up next against the 1941 Vauxhall. And he slips right under him and just lifts him right off the track. Nice and easy.
The Diablo take an early 7-0 lead over the Vauxhall, so they'll have some work to do as they switch lanes.
They race down the track and make contact right in the center, neither one of them giving too much. This will be a close one in points, but overall, the Diablo is going to take it.
13-6 is the final score, with the Lamborghini Gallardo against the Auburn 852 up next.
Nice to see some of the old-timers making it into the Demolition Derby. Even if it is just to see these young upstarts put them out to pasture.
The Gallardo knocks off the Auburn and takes an early 6-0 lead as they switch tracks.
Now the Gallardo needs to do is just remain on the track, and he's probably got this one in the bag. And he does just that.
Right you are, Chip. The Gallardo flies to the center, avoiding contact, scoring himself some extra points and knocking out the Auburn in the process.
Final score of this race will be 13-8, the Gallardo over the Auburn.
That'll move the Gallardo into a tie for 13th place as we shift on to our next set of races in the Beach Division outer brackets to see who makes it in.
Some of our heaviest hitters in this division, so let's see if size really does matter as they take on each other. The Battle of the Goliaths.
Right you are. It was heavily anticipated that some of these big trucks would do really well in this competition, so we'll see how they do with the 76 Big Rig up first against the Heavy Hitcher.
And as they careen down the track, they don't disappoint with a huge collision in the middle. 76 Big Rig gets launched off the track, and the Heavy Hitcher will stay on with a 6-0 lead to start off before they switch tracks.
And as they careen down on the second race, they miss each other narrowly in the center, and the 76 Big Rig is going to be knocked out, not having enough points to overcome this one.
Turns out the Heavy Hitcher was also a heavy hitter and will take solo 16th place with a 12-6 victory over the 76 Big Rig with the Peterbilt Helium gas tank truck versus the black Corvette Stingray up next.
And they have a heavy collision in the center, almost knocking the tank truck off, but he has one tire still resting on the lane, which will give him that needed point.
They switch lanes and go at it again. Contact once again. And the Corvette Stingray this time is the one that nearly gets knocked off, but he keeps 2 tires on. And the score shows that that one tire at the first race is the deciding factor.
Absolutely. The DAVancenator versus the white Corvette Stingray up now.
And the DAVancenator lifts the Stingray right off the track in almost a perfect run, staying in the center and earning almost as many points as you can possibly imagine in this one.
And as they switch tracks, the Stingray will have a lot of work to do to get back in this one, but he will not. The DAVancenator launches him off the track one more time in another nearly perfect run. That'll put him in a tie for second with an 18-point finish over the Stingray 0, with the Corvette C6 Convertible up against the fast Gassin up next.
And as they race down the track, they have a narrow miss in the middle. They both go through the center twice, but the C6 Convertible does stop 2 tires in the center. That'll give him 1 point extra.
You are correct. With that 1-point lead, will that be enough to secure the victory on this one? See as they switch up lanes. With the Convertible ahead by 1, 8-7 over the fast Gassin.
They take off down the lanes, and the fast Gassin hits the Corvette Convertible right in the back quarter panel. They both fly off the track, and fast Gassin can't remain on. They will both get 0 points.
He had no other choice than to try and knock him off, but that is the danger as we look at our brackets.
In the Caribbean Division, the Inkling will go on to face the Ford Police, and the Shadow the Hedgehog will go on to face the Pontiac Bonneville. The Diablo will go on to face Kirby, and the Gallardo will go on to face the Police Cruiser.
The Beach Division will see the Heavy Hitcher face on the Snow Day Renault, and the Tank Truck will go on to face the Renin rig.
The DAVancenator go on to take on the Red Jaguar, and the C6 go on to take on the Stingray.
Looking at our top 30, we see the Shadow Jet in first, and all the rest of the cars that are still making the top of the board. These will keep moving as we progress, and the outer brackets continue. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, like our content.
Comment and share with your friends. I am Chip Monkington.
And I am Adam Croxton with Croxton Family Racing. As always, stay safe, be free. See you next time.